And I'm going to start by boiling our lobsters. I'm just going to boil one for you right now, but this dish is going to use 3 1.5-pound lobsters. Okay. I've got about 3 quarts of water steaming, boiled. Just going to drop this in. I'm going to cover it. Okay, we've steamed, boil steam I call it, this lobster, for about 14 minutes now. I'm going to grab it by the body, break the claws off, pull off the tail. You can see that the tail, the roe, is a little bit black. As I suspected, it's ever so slightly undercooked, but that's okay for this dish because we're making lobster bisque. Okay? This I'm saving. This is what I'm looking for the bisque. This body is going to go into my heavy bottom saucepan. Later on we're going to talk about that. A little whack. I break it, saving the shells. And my claw comes out nice and whole. Cartilage is gone right there. For the tail, I'm going to break the back off. And we're going to, this is the tricky part. We're going to hope that it comes out for us. Okay? We have our lobster shucked. This is the meat from the 2 lobsters I cooked earlier so I could start a stock. I'm going to add this to here, set it aside. Now we're going to braise the bodies and start our stock. So we have our shells here and have them in a heavy saucepan. I'm going to turn them on medium. I'm going to add some butter. You can use a touch of oil. Butter works nicely. Not too much butter, just enough. To this, as it melts, I'm going to add a little paprika. I always do add it for this particular dish. I'm breaking the lobster body open with this heavy spoon. We're going to be sauteing this and crushing this for quite a few minutes. So I've already done a little of the legwork for us. So I'm going to add my mirepoix. I use, here at the Nimrod, we always have plenty of fresh vegetable scraps left over. The onions, the shallot pieces are important. The carrots give it a little bit of sweetness. I happen to have some fennel tops because we use fennel in our bouillabaisse here, so I have them available to me. I've got parsley stems because we chop a lot of fresh parsley. Any savory herb that's not so strong that it's going to ruin your bisque will be just fine in this. Stay away from the garlic peels. Save the garlic peels for your beef dishes and your chicken dishes and your lamb dishes. We've got a built-in stock that we already started when we boiled our lobsters. We're going to add that right in. We're going to add in the leftovers from the lobsters that we just shucked. We're going to bring this to a boil. You can get away with simmering it for half an hour, 45 minutes minimum. I do mine for 4 or 5 hours minimum. It just imparts a nicer lobster flavor. While we're waiting for our stock to finish itself, we're going to make the roux, which we're going to need to thicken up the final product. We're going to make what's called a blonde shallot roux. I've got approximately 3/4 pound of butter here. Maybe a little more. There's 3/4 there. I've got about 3 cups of flour, 2.5 cups of flour here. I'm going to make what's called a thick blonde roux. I'm going to use a little more flour than your usual 50-50 roux. That's because we've got butter in our stock here. And this extra little tiny bit of extra flour is going to make it foolproof for us so it doesn't break, because you don't want your bisque to be broken. A little overzealous, so I'm going to turn this down. Turning it way down now. And blend it even. You're going to toss it around without browning it. There's our stock coming along nicely. There's more lobster in here now than the one that we saw before when I first put this in, because I mentioned that I'd already cooked 2 lobsters and started a stock. I married the 2 of them together because I had one stock that's been going all morning long, getting ready to make this dish for you. Now, we're just about there. Look at that. Our stock's starting to develop a nice color. Looks like lobster stock, doesn't it? I'm going to strain the stock. We're stirring it around and smashing. Got just about the amount of stock I thought we'd come up with. Looks like about 2 quarts maybe to me. I'm going to add some brandy. I said I have 2 quarts. I'm thinking a cup of brandy might be good on this for initial purposes. I'm going to double the amount of sherry. Now at home you can use either brandy or sherry or both. Works well with sherry. The secret ingredient, nutmeg. Okay? Once again, so little that you're wasting your time doing it. Okay? I mean, this is going to take 2 tiny pinches. Okay? No one but you are going to know. If you do it right, you're the only one that knows it's in there. With maybe just over a teaspoon of tomato paste to this. Yeah, maybe a teaspoon and a half. I'm going to use Tabasco sauce for 2 reasons. It's not going to show and ruin the image of our final product, and it blends a little more nicely in sauces. It's a great Tabasco or any of the good hot sauces. We're going to start thickening it with the roux. This is more roux than we're going to need. I'm going to save this roux for a nice bechamel sauce I'm going to make tomorrow, or maybe a cream of mushroom soup. We're going to be adding cream to this shortly. So we want it to be slightly over thickened, but not pasty at all. I guess I put about a cup, maybe a cup and a half of roux in. I've separated out the lobster meat that I'm going to use for part of the bisque as an entree, and the parts that are going to be in the bisque itself. I'm going to cut them up, and I'm going to break up the roux. So you can see the consistency that I'm at here. There you go. That's the color we're looking for. Looks like lobster bisque. We're going to be decadent. I'd normally use the larger ladle, but I've got this one right here. Top's closed for a reason.